A pharmaceutical executive collapsed in the Oval Office on Thursday. And speaking of pharmaceuticals, whatever they've got Trump on, I want some. Because just look how chill he is during all of this. He's just standing there. He's literally this meme.
America's Philistine president has had himself appointed head of one of our premier cultural institutions. He has cut funding and support to the arts, humanities, and education. And now he has announced a 100% tariff on films produced outside the U.S.
Something extraordinary just unfolded. Colin Jost and Robert De Niro dismantled Trump with the calm precision of scholars dissecting a myth no one should have believed in. No shouting, no chaos, just a slow, poetic unraveling of ego wrapped in expertly engineered sarcasm. Think you've seen a public take? Look again. This wasn't comedy. This was modern folklore in the making.
Well, America elected Donald Trump to run the country like a business, but it turns out he's running it like one of his businesses. I love that you can intentionally ruin the economy and still get to stay president. It's like if you drunk drove your car through the window of the DMV and they were like...
Is that true? Do you have to use a teleprompter when speaking about President Trump? Or are you able to just kind of riff on your thoughts on him?
He's so...
Colin Jost strolls onto the stage like a man, fully aware he's about to roast someone into spiritual retirement. A smirk is already forming, one that hints he's been stockpiling jokes for months, and today, at last, is payday. He doesn't waste a second. He unloads verbal fireworks that crackle, burst, and leave the audience torn between laughing, gasping, or alerting HR just in case.
Well, President Trump traveled to the Middle East this week, and if I were him, I would have just stayed there because it looked awesome. Trump arrived in Saudi Arabia, where he was greeted with a lavender carpet which matched the color of his tie and also the length. They also rolled out a mobile McDonald's truck for President Trump's visit, featuring Saudi Arabia's most popular new burger, the McJournalist.
But before the crowd can catch its breath, Robert De Niro steps in, not dramatic, not loud, just dangerously calm. The kind of calm that signals Trump is about to receive something nuclear. He moves with the energy of a man who's witnessed so much political chaos. He's basically earned a PhD in unimpressed. No theatrics, no grand gestures, just direct, razor-edged commentary sharp enough to sandblast a skyscraper into dust.
In my country, we're fighting like hell for the democracy we once took for granted. And that affects all of us. That affects all of us here because the arts are democratic. Art is inclusive. It brings people together. Like tonight, art looks for truth. Art embraces diversity. And that's why art is a threat. That's why we are a threat to autocrats.
The focus of his jokes is a loud, orange monument to self-promotion, someone who has never met a camera he didn't adore or a sentence he didn't stretch twice as long as necessary. Jost handles him like he's performing charity work, dragging Trump verbally the way a mom drags a toddler out of a toy store. Chaotic, embarrassing, but absolutely necessary for the sake of humanity.
Trump also reacted to news that Prince Andrew lost the title of prince over ties to Jeffrey Epstein, saying he feels badly for the royal family. Trump even sent Prince Andrew a card to cheer him up. Hang in there. More of an Epstein.
New Mexico has become the first state in the country to offer its residents free child care, which will be provided by nannies from Old Mexico.
Every sarcastic line lands like a precision-guided missile. De Niro paints Trump as the first human capable of walking into a room and instantly lowering the IQ of the paint on the walls. He imagines Trump screaming at advisors the same way someone screams at a printer that refuses to connect to Wi-Fi, a full dramatic meltdown powered by confusion, entitlement, and the unshakable belief that the printer is personally plotting against him.
You have compared the Trump family to a gangster family, which is something coming from you. What do you mean?
They are. Well, because he thinks he's a gangster. He does everything like a gangster. I don't think that gangsters in that world would think much of him, because there's honor among thieves. There's honor in anything. If you don't keep your word and do the right thing with people, no matter what profession.
He talks about Trump like he's a glitch in the national software and error code, pretending to be a personality. De Niro compares him to a malfunctioning GPS that keeps yelling recalculating, even though the car hasn't moved an inch. His tone makes it clear, America didn't need a leader. It desperately needed tech support. He runs through Trump's absurd behaviors like he's checking boxes on a warranty form. Petty, loud, allergic to facts, and incapable of losing gracefully even in games no one is playing. Then he goes in harder, calling Trump the world's wealthiest conspiracy theorist, a man who has everything except evidence. The crowd can practically feel the floor vibrating as De Niro keeps swinging. To him, Trump is someone convinced the rulebook is optional, but his opinions are mandatory. It's comedy, sure, but sharpened with the cold, surgical precision of someone who has absolutely had enough.
Trump does not understand anything about humanity, people. He has no empathy. I don't know what he is, but he's an alien. And he wants to hurt this country. It's something deeply psychological in him. He wants to hurt people. He wants to hurt this country. He doesn't care. And what saddens me the most, upsets me the most, is that people follow him and they think and they kiss his ass and they look up to him. And I don't understand it. I don't understand the people in his cabinet, some of them, Rubio, other one, how they can.
Jost unleashes chaos through sheer absurdity. While De Niro closes the deal with deadpan destruction, the transition between them feels like flipping channels from cartoon fireworks to a mafia-style verbal take. The contrast is mesmerizing, one silly, one serious, both absolutely relentless. Jost jumps back in with another wave of operatic descriptions, imagining Trump trying to read anything longer than a tweet and reacting like someone just handed him ancient hieroglyphics. He mocks Trump's theatrical hand gestures, those sweeping, wandering motions, as if he's conducting a symphony only he can hear. According to Jost, every policy announcement sounds like a teenager bluffing their way through a book report they definitely did not read. The audience is laughing too hard to breathe, mostly because it's painfully close to reality. Then he drops the final punch. Trump handles criticism with the grace of a raccoon trapped in a vending machine, furious, confused, and absolutely convinced he deserves the snacks. It's pure gold. And just when the energy feels like it can't possibly go higher, De Niro storms back in like an avalanche wearing expensive shoes. He talks about Trump's obsession with attention as if the man wakes up every morning, stares in the mirror, and asks, "How can I get the entire planet to think about me today?" He describes Trump's public statements as a blender set to nonsense, words swirling wildly until nothing remains but volume, ego, and dramatic hand movements.net.
It's insane. This was the worst week for the stock market since the summer of 2020. But you have to remember, back then, the president was also Trump. Just in the past 2 days, investors have lost over $6 trillion. Money is leaving the stock market faster than Morgan Wallen at goodnight.
De Niro compares Trump's self-confidence to a skyscraper, built entirely out of wet cardboard, loud, and destined to collapse under a stiff breeze. He jokes that Trump treats the law the way a toddler treats bedtime. It doesn't exist if you refuse to acknowledge it. Every line lands with the stealthy precision of a man who knows timing better than his own reflection. By now, the crowd can't tell whether they're watching a comedy performance or a live, well-funded demonstration of karma. De Niro fires up again, mocking Trump's obsession with rallies as if they're the world's most chaotic family reunion, except no one in the family wants to attend, and the main speaker refuses to let anyone else hold a microphone. He imagines Trump rewriting history in real time, like a Google Doc where all collaborators have been permanently blocked. The audience devours every second. Transitions back to De Niro feel effortless and unspoken. He roasts Trump's habit of declaring victory before anything has actually happened, like celebrating winning the lottery simply because you bought a ticket and prayed aggressively. De Niro describes Trump's public persona as a tornado made of arrogance and Wi-Fi conspiracy tweets. People laugh while quietly acknowledging how disturbingly accurate it is. Jost jumps in to add comedic flair to the business angle. He jokes that Trump talks about his empire the way people talk about their fitness goals, overflowing with enthusiasm, noticeably lacking in reality. According to Jost, every project Trump touches ends up looking like something bought on clearance from a suspicious website at 3A.M. De Niro nods beside him like an unimpressed Italian dad, who's already seen every disaster and refuses to be surprised by another one, not change.
I hate bullies, thugs who use their strength to push other people around. They think they can achieve power and hang on to it by intimidating others. Sadly, sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't. And now we have Trump. He's all that, about intimidation, retribution. He's going to prosecute. He's going to send you to jail for having an abortion. He's going to take your Medicare and Social Security away. He's going to deport you. He's going to send the military after you if you defy him. You know who this shit works on? The MAGA politicians who are afraid of losing their power. They're so afraid of him, he's got them kissing his ass. And now they're trying to intimidate us. We will not allow that.
The pace never slows. Just circles back to Trump's dramatic stage presence, comparing his expression during public appearances to a man who just discovered his favorite coupon expired at the register. He jokes that Trump behaves as if the world is divided into only two groups: people who adore him and people who are wrong. Laughter erupts like a 4th of July finale. Then De Niro delivers a closing monologue that feels like a slow-motion comedic slap. He says Trump's greatest accomplishment might be providing comedians with decades of premium material. He mocks Trump's inability to move on, suggesting his ego is powered by a nuclear reactor fueled entirely by tantrums. He imagines Trump reading headlines about himself the way some people read love letters, lovingly and with absolute devotion. De Niro continues, saying Trump would probably give high-energy speeches inside a grocery store if someone placed a podium next to the bananas. He ridicules Trump's insistence that everything he does is historic, even when it's just fast food orders or golf scores. By the end, their demolition is complete. Trump has been metaphorically roasted, deep-fried, seasoned, and served with a generous side of sarcasm. The crowd is left shaking their heads, laughing, and stunned at how two completely different comedic styles collided to create the perfect storm.
On Tuesday, Zohran Mamdani was elected mayor of New York City. He was elected. A lot of Sliwa fans. He was elected mayor despite his opponent Andrew Cuomo receiving endorsements from Donald Trump and Eric Adams, which is like trying to bring a girl home by saying, not to brag, but I have hepatitis B.
It wasn't an argument. It was a masterclass in comedic weaponry delivered through smirks, eye rolls, and the kind of humor that leaves permanent dents in a public reputation. Even after the applause fades, the universe seems to pause and realize this comedy marathon isn't done yet. The audience is still buzzing, still wheezing with laughter, still picturing Trump being dragged across the metaphorical stage like a discount inflatable decoration that didn't survive a thunderstorm. Joe steps back into the spotlight with that look, the one that promises a fresh batch of verbal fireworks ready for detonation. He launches into Trump's social media habits as if he's studying the behavioral patterns of an exotic bird that screeches anytime someone else gets attention. According to Jost, Trump logs in like he's clocking into a full-time job, 8 hours, no lunch break. Holidays strictly forbidden. He imagines Trump tweeting during national crises the same way. Some people tweet while waiting for pizza delivery. Impatient and loudly convinced his message is urgent, the crowd erupts because it sounds exactly right. Jost says Trump treats every trending topic like a personal challenge. Determined to insert himself into conversations that were never remotely about him, it's comedic genius. The way he paints Trump as a human pop-up ad, loud, impossible to ignore, and appearing precisely when no one wants him.
The Democratic National Committee protested President Trump's plans to accept a $400 million luxury jet from Qatar by flying a banner over Mar-a-Lago reading Qatar-a-Lago. It's the kind of hilarious stunt that makes you realize why the Democrats will never win again. Ethical experts are also warning that Trump may owe political favors to countries who give him lavish gifts. But based on the way he left the Middle East, I think I know how Trump is going to pay them back.
The audience barely has a moment to recover before De Niro re-enters the scene, like a calm storm rolling back toward land. It's that soft-spoken intensity, the kind that delivers more devastation than yelling ever could. He dissects Trump's obsession with winning as if it were a medical condition demanding treatment. Trump doesn't just enjoy winning. De Niro suggests he needs it the way some people need water, caffeine, or fully charged phones. And if he doesn't win, reality itself must bend until it does. Each line lands with that grim seriousness that says he's beyond exhausted watching grown adults pretend consequences don't exist. He digs deeper, painting Trump's public statements as epic sagas where the hero is always Trump, the villain is always accountability, and the plot twist is invariably chaos. Sliding back in with renewed energy, De Niro giggles like a man discovering a comedy buffet, riffing on Trump's obsession with headlines. He imagines him clipping news articles with the precision of a grandmother clipping coupons, except with more self-admiration and far fewer savings. He jokes that Trump reads articles about himself the way some gym bros stare aggressively into mirrors, loudly, obsessively, and with unmatched devotion. Trump is a man who spills a drink, blames the floor, and then contemplates suing the glass. His relationship with accountability is like an allergic reaction. Symptoms include whining, finger-pointing, and dramatic declarations of unfair treatment. Every joke lands with surgical precision, leaving the audience laughing, gasping and shaking their heads at the sheer audacity of the caricature.com storm of comedic destruction that no one in the room will soon forget.net.
For a second, we need to show them our power and vote them all out, every one of them. The way to take down a bully is to look them straight in the eye and then watch them start to crumble. That's what Kamala Harris did at the debate where she totally dominated Trump, using her intelligence, her experience, her decency, and her actual plans to make life better for Americans. She reduced Trump to the little blustering punk that he is. Trump doesn't have a clue about anything, about how to lead. He only knows how to bully. And now, thanks to Kamala Harris, we know he
Jost swings the comedic bat with untamed enthusiasm. Each joke a fastball aimed straight at absurdity. De Niro follows with his surgical silence, the kind that cuts deeper than noise ever could, leaving the audience reeling. Jost closes his set with an extended riff on Trump, treating golf like international diplomacy, acting as though sinking a putt grants him moral authority to lead nations. He paints Trump on the golf course like a monarch in exile, issuing orders no one requested, celebrating victories no one witnessed, and blaming the weather for every misstep. The crowd teeters on the edge of hysteria, barely able to breathe from laughter. Jost observes that Trump has built a persona so fragile, it requires 24-hour applause support. The thought of fading into normal life terrifies him more than taxes, honesty, or Wi-Fi with a password. De Niro adds his razor-sharp commentary, implying Trump isn't merely chasing political power anymore, he's chasing attention like oxygen, with applause as the only measure of his existence. And when the final wave of laughter subsides, there's no neat resolution. Instead, there's recognition. Trump has been roasted not with volume, anger, or theatrics, but with precision, humor, impeccable timing, and the insight of two men who have been studying absurdity for years. The energy lingers long after the stage lights dim, a testament to the fact that ego may assume countless forms, but comedy will always discover the cracks, exploit them, and leave the audience both gasping and smiling. It's a masterclass in comedic demolition, proof that subtlety and timing often punch harder than chaos ever could.